the first one is going to be my very first card, which is Golden Ratio. I did that one for the Strixhaven set. That was a big deal to me because that card, being my first, it was the first step into the realm of the more public-facing side of Magic art. I actually started working on Magic on the Kaldheim set, behind the scenes doing concept work. And the big project that I did on that one was I designed all of the not work faction motifs for each of the factions in the set. So it was like taking the designs and finding a way to keep them off of each other so that each thing had a very unique kind of impression. And I ended up with that gig from my history as a tattoo artist in the past. I've had a lot of weird kind of art jobs over the years, and that all rolled in together and got me noticed for being pulled in to work on that side of things. And so getting my first Magic card to have my first piece that's like, you know, when you work concept art, you get credited in the concept book, you get credited in, you know, articles that come out talking about the concept art side of things. But if you don't have something more public facing, you know, then you kind of fly under the radar sometimes. And so having my very first card come out, that felt like a big realization of a goal that I've had since I was a kid. Like, I used to collect Magic cards for the art back during Urza Saga, you know, and that it was just like kind of a culmination of a childhood dream to like finally make art that went onto a card itself. So that was the first piece that was really important to me. Second piece that was really important to me was the Dragon Kami Reborn, because that was my first foray into doing my Magic art traditionally. That one was, it was also the largest oil painting I'd ever done at the time. It was 18 by 36, oil on board, but the entire backdrop of the piece, the field that the dragons and the tree are on, that is all 24 karat gold leaf. So that was the first major gold leafing project I'd ever done with oils, and it was such a challenge because there are a lot of like rules about the way that you apply materials to the board, like what goes down first in order for things to be archival. And it becomes even more complicated when you start to talk about gold leaf, because you have to think about the longevity of that surface. And so learning all of these new techniques at the same time as like working on a deadline, and like it's a flip card and both sides were done traditionally. So it's like having a set deadline in place. It was definitely a race to like get things figured out on time, but I feel like the reception to it after it came out, like I was very, very happy that I ended up doing it that way. And my third piece that was a big deal for me is the Eternal Wanderer. That was my very first Planeswalker card. I felt very honored that they felt like I was up to the task to take on a Planeswalker after only having worked on the game for about 1.5 or 2 years at that point. So the trust in me to handle an important task like that felt very good to have at the time. That one I also did traditionally, and that one was done at 24 inches by 30 inches. So it was a pretty big canvas to cover with a lot of high detail when you're talking about like a full art that extends below the text box. And it's always a bit more nerve-wracking when you're working on a character that you know that the fans love. And you hope that you do justice for that character for the way that they're represented on the card. So that was about 15 days on the easel, I think, for that one. It was definitely a labor of love, but I felt very good about the piece when I finished it, and I felt pretty accomplished to have like taken on that task and gotten it done. So I don't know, I really love working on this game, and I hope to get a lot more impactful kind of imagery, like the sagas that I often get, like the ability to like weave in Easter eggs and things that the fans can pick up on and appreciate in the art, like those kinds of things. They really make this worthwhile for me to do.